Hey fam, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining me in this general tarot reading. This is a community read, so remember that if it doesn't resonate with you, it's all good, fam. This is for all signs, all souls. Let us see what kind of messaging we can receive this round. Okie dokie. I did a bit of pre-shuffling, so let's just get right on into it. It's like I want to draw one, but I also want to draw three. Well, alrighty then. Now that makes a bit more sense. I personally see this card a lot. The shapeshifter. The trickster. The elusive. The formless. The shapeshifter has a love of theater, games, and trickery. Its energy appears as one thing, only to reveal a more complex story below the surface. The shapeshifter is within all of us to some degree. It is the side of ourselves that is slippery, non-committal, and experimental, and longs to dismiss the rules. We need its energy to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of our existence. When the shapeshifter card appears, it's important to imagine you're looking at life through a kaleidoscope rather than a single focus lens. At any moment, the scene may shift, revealing a more enchanting vision than you imagined. Be wary, though, as the allure of the kaleidoscope can leave you exhausted and yearning for solid ground. Dancing long-term with a shapeshifter requires a central pillar of integrity that leads us back to our center. It's always confused me how, with an exception being like survival mode, right? Like knowing darn well that you should probably be, like that's a different conversation. But like how people, generally speaking, it's almost like different performances, right? Like you show different sides of yourself around different people, right? Because I feel like that's just not how I personally function. Like I am who I am. I mind my P's and Q's. Like I'm not gonna go swearing around your parents or something. You know what I mean? Like unless they start it. But like, like I have manners. I'm not gonna start drama and stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm still me. And there's, I don't know, like I've always struggled to understand that, but I completely understand adaptability. That's probably why I said the whole exceptional thing. Like I understand needing to adapt. For me, we call it masking, right? But you have to be careful though, because it can get exhausting and it can cause burnout. It can certainly play its part in the enabling of burnout, to be fair. So, like, I feel like there are those who may have been losing track of time and have not connected with particular sides of themselves in a while. And something about their souls really needs that right now. Okay. Let's move on to the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck, shall we? And I just a little bit more. cutting this one in 3 this time. Okay. You've been losing yourself to, for some it's society. For some, maybe it's your family, your friends, people that mean something to you, or else how, right? It had to be pointed out to me that this castle is on fire. I was too busy being like, ooh, I love the outfit. I love the hair. Look, there's a kitty. Wow, that plant is flourishing. I did not notice that on my own. It had to be pointed out. Well, the person who pointed that out to me totally just sent me a bajillion messages. It's like she knew. Whatever you're currently grappling with, you must put yourself first. When you're on an airplane, they always tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before you try to help your neighbor with theirs. That is to say, if you don't make sure your own energy bar is full, then you'll have no energy to give someone else. Be brave enough to admit when you need to take a step back from the demands of others and work on making sure you're okay. Ta-da! What was I saying? Make sure that you haven't forgotten the sound of your own heartbeat, right? Like, some of us have echolalia. So sometimes, you may notice different accents coming from me, right? I'm originally from the East Coast, so anything even sounding remotely like the East Coast is always going to be near and dear to me, right? It's only natural. But, sometimes it can be embarrassing. Sometimes it's just confusing to people because they're like, where the fuck are you from? Right? But, where was I going with that? Oh, but for some, like, it's like you just get so caught up in society and their standards and the opinions of others because maybe you feel forced to have to listen, like maybe it's your coworkers, maybe it's your family, your parents, whoever the heck you wind up alongside throughout the day, right? And for too many of us, that's a lot of toxicity. And it can really, for lack of better ways of explaining it coming to me right now, it can really infect us. That because it's like some things, they just slither in and we don't even realize how affected we've become by it. Maybe we're at that point where our reactions are more born out of frustration. And it's like, what the heck is wrong with me? You know what I mean? Why am I snappy lately? Like, I think I've been getting enough sleep. You know what I mean? Like, not only have we had all these different planets coming in and out of retrograde and being in retrograde at the same time, but, and different portals and what, it was just November the 1st, like 111, like whatever the heck. 11 at, what is it that Bilbo says for his birthday? Like, it's been a very particular, like, regardless of what you believe in, you're still a human being on Earth in this universe, right? The biological body is still going to be affected by things. And sometimes it just takes us a minute to realize, what we're caught up in and stuff while we've been doing our day-to-day lives. So just be cognizant. More cognizant of not only your words and behaviors, but yourself. Right? Not only the vibe that you're putting out there, but the vibe that you're accepting, right? What am I doing? It's clarification time. Like, I don't even know. I'm over here looking for a different deck or something, or a book. Another round of shuffling, okay. Boosh. Okay. There's this calm that's been going on. I did this incredible guided meditation beforehand. It's one of my favorite, but I haven't done it in a while. I was like, you know what? It's for grounding and cleansing. And it was like, you know what? Now feels like the perfect time for that. And boy, howdy. All right. Chapter 1. What's incredible is that it's very similar to the visuals they provide. It's that channel, Great Meditation. If you're into guided meditations, you've probably come across them on YouTube or something. And they have you visualizing standing on this like slab of tourmaline, black tourmaline, right? And like crystal clear water all around, and then this silver light like pouring down onto you, and you know, pulling at your feet and such, and just filling you from chakra to chakra down to your feet, right? It's beautiful. But then also that grounding, like magnetism of that tourmaline and the earth. To new beginnings, to remembering what our soul craves and has been longing for. Maybe you have issue with the word deserve, right? Like, what is that? Something like I saw it on a bumper sticker first and was like, yeah, that feels about right. That may you have the day you deserve, right? I have a sticker that's, no, I shouldn't say that. I should not say that. Moving on. It's a smart ass cat thing, but this feels like that thing that you have been waiting for is coming to fruition. And it's going to trickle, if not pour, over you. And it's going to be breathtaking, but it's also going to take your breath away. Like, keep your wits about you. You know how to handle this with grace. This is going to be, it's going to include things you've never experienced before. So it's going to be a bit overwhelming at times, and that's okay. All right? May you, because I feel you will, be surrounded by those who can help, you know, who are supportive, right? Who won't judge you if you're having a human of a moment. You know what I mean? Because I feel like even if you struggled with stress in the past, like I feel like you really have been learning healthier coping mechanisms, and you're going, this is what it's all been for. So trust that. Trust yourself and trust the process and follow through. Don't stop just because things are coming to fruition. Don't stop. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's meditation, affirmations, or whatever you've been putting your attention into, right? Whatever's been receiving your dedication, whatever you've come to realize is sacred to you, and what you really truly want to do with your life and who you want to be. It's like, even if you're among those who haven't really been talking about it so much as it's been internal, you know, maybe you've been seeing a lot of swords here and there in certain readings that, you know, it's just very heavy mind and a plane. And now, like, there's a crystal clear vision going on. Like, not only do you have that hindsight 2020 action going on, but like you're just able to better understand things now. Fuck yeah. I can't not. I can't not. Anytime I see this, I always think of the Final Fantasy games. There are parts of yourself that you sacrificed once upon a time in your version of survival mode that are finally being reactivated, that are finally having their rebirth. You've learned better ways of not only healthy coping mechanisms, but better ways of honoring yourself, right? Without feeling this idea of selfishness that was never yours to begin with. It came from somebody else. Like, you've been doing the work, and this is what it's for. So if you have, oh wow, we meet again, bud. Oh my goodness. So the running theme for the Fool's Journey, beginning this round of the Fool's Journey, is this white dog is like our wisdom. And those right now, I love that it's coming up after I was talking about resurrecting those parts of yourself. The parts that have been locked away and deeply protected so that you could survive. And you knew that at some point, like, that is one of just one element of what this has all been for, right? That you could, recently was talking about how all my retail experience, like, has kind of ruined Christmas for me. Like, I'm good. But, like, I want to have a family of my own someday, right? So there's that last reserve part of me that's holding on to the enjoyment of winter and Christmas and that spirit, you know what I mean? Enjoying all the movies and the music and just creating new traditions if we want, right? And now it's able to come out. Like, seriously, there's a plane right now. Where are we going, fam? Wherever shall we go? Because we need to figure out a better path down this mountain first and foremost. We just want to take in some fresh air. This is beautiful, and we're so happy to be here. Like, there's this thirst for life. Like, you thought you had a thirst before, but now it's included with this renewed sense of awe. Right? That realization of how miracles really do happen every day, you know, like, maybe we're okay with not needing to know every single how, because we know at some point it's going to be like, oh, really? It's been like that this whole time? Wow. Yeah, wow. Human is funny business. Oh my goodness. You shine. There's a balance to you like never before. It's like the wisdom of the ages just came to mind. You've always loved learning new things and being able to compartmentalize. I'm willing to bet you have a better memory than I do. So that's what it's like, huh? Because it's just like, so much makes sense. There's just something, about a person when they're secure within themselves, when they trust themselves. There's a confidence that money can't affect, right? Money can't purchase. It can't, I mean, it can, you know, be one less thing for a person to worry about, that's for sure. Like, there's an acceptance and a thrill occurring that these, fam, I've been sitting here waxing poetic. I mean, you know, having a ball at least. 4 cards are on the table. 3 major arcana. Bing, bing. Like, are you kidding me? With beginning with the Ace of Cups? Fam. This is you in all your glory. Living your life to the fullest. So much wisdom gained. So much capability. So much strength. And still able to learn, still excited to learn, still wanting to experience whatever the heck is coming next, because you know, oh my goodness gracious, with such clarity, such certainty, this is huge. This is huge. This is everything. One way to put this is you've had multiple dark nights of the soul throughout your life. And there's this point now where it's like you can see all the dots, all the lessons. Interesting that, like, there's been a lot of noise going along. Like, it's been so chaotic. Like, these things have affected you in ways that maybe there are those who think that you reacted a bit more than they would expect from you. You know, most of the time you can be pretty cool, calm, and collected, and then sometimes it's like, well, okay. But they only know that moment with you, right? They don't know all of the things that came before, right? That at the very least can add a bit of exasperation to the experience, you know, like but there's a particular song that I always think of when I see this card, usually anyway. You know, that because that's the end of the cycle. And it's falling right underneath judgment. It's the end of the world, and I feel fine is looping through my head. That song itself, in the recent days, has been looping through my head. And I feel fine. I've been saying, like, anytime we see the Tower card or anything, like, even resembling it in any of these decks, let the walls crumble. Let it crumble. We got shit to do. Let's go. There's more. There's more within us. There's more to explore and experience and thrive in. We're not done yet. It's been taking forever. But now it's like, oh, okay. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, fine. It makes sense. Like look at you. Look at you. It's like they're on opposite ends of the table, though, the frickin' town or something together. Like, okay, fine, I'm coming. Like, you said you were gonna be here hours ago, except this usually represents a lot more than hours. What is it, months or years? The slowest moving night in the tarot. But he too offers everything. Everything that means something to you. The seeds you've been planting. The things you've been wanting to, you've been working toward. And I'm thinking of, like, if we could have, like, between here, like, the 10 of Wands, right? There have been times maybe you've gotten impatient, like, all right already, like, can we get this going on? I need to be out of here. I need to be done. And, like, it's time. This whole thing, it's time. Come up off the mountain now, hermit. It's time. Oh, what? What? Why? Because you're used to it. It's comfortable. You're able to control it. I always say that as far as I'm concerned, this person is holding their hands behind. They're holding on to the whatever that is that binds them. Ultimately, this person is the one in control. And something about how things have happened, how it's affected you, your mind, after all this survival mode, all of this kind of wisdom gained has been painful, very internally painful. It's continuing that idea of the parts of yourself that maybe you feel you had to sacrifice in order to survive. It's like there's still a little bit of that poison. There's still, your subconscious is still messing with you in ways. You're still retraining, but you're being persistent. You're following through. You keep going because you know. It's like, here's the dawn. Here comes the sun. Do, 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 do. And here we go. But there's a part of you, sometimes you catch in yourself just like, why am I thinking that? Right? Sometimes it starts off as a concern about something, and the next thing you know, it just can go to dark places. But you're catching yourself. It takes time, and you've got this. You've got this. What's the epilogue? I'm really noticing The Yahweh sprinkling down, right? How it's almost like that's what's happening when we're having that dark night in the soul up on our mountain, right? Where we can see the water in the distance. Maybe we're howling to the moon. But it's like there's still a little bit of light down there, right? Just along the mountain range. I feel like we're going to just be like, huh. When we get to, you know what I mean? Like, I can't wait for it to make even more sense. You know what I mean? To finally remember and to know, you know? Like, that's what I believe in 100%. That's what speaks to my soul. And you don't have to agree with me. It's all good. But it's like you always are going to have what you need. As long as you like there's a need to keep an ego in check, and I feel like it's not in the ways one may assume, right? Kind of like how a lot of narcissists don't, and they have every right to not really appreciate the way people have a tendency to talk about narcissists, because some may surprise you if you were to learn that they have that diagnosis, right? Not everyone is stereotypical about it. And I completely freaking lost my train of thought with that. Oh, the ego. Like, there's no 5 of Wands out here. This is purely about your journey and what you've been learning and where you have every right to go. You need to be taking care of yourself and remembering who you are, what your opinions are. You know, checkity check with yourself. Go inside of a cocoon for a moment if you're not already. I'm pretty sure that's what you've been doing to a degree. And if you haven't already, you are emerging like this freaking beautiful butterfly. Or if you like those really cool moths, it might as well be the family pet. They're huge. They're furry. Sorry if you're not into that, but they're freaking cool. There are some, their wings look like snakes. Like, what the? That's just cool, I think. Again, something else you don't have to agree with me on. I'm sorry. But it's almost like it was quite incredible the way these were drawn, the order they were drawn in, and how, like, look at them. They both have the different, like, you get this idea that the tide is out, and is it going away? Is it, or is it coming in, right? And yet here's, we started off with the star that is, they're not only aware of their power and the wonderful things that they're capable of internally and externally, the synergy of life and nature and the universe. They harness it. They are a conduit. And then there's being human. And forgetting, oh my goodness. That's why. I have a video from like last year, almost 2 years ago, creeping on it, on this channel. It was one of the first videos I uploaded, in which I talk about a dream that I had when it was like 19 or 20 years old, somewhere around there. It was just before I turned 21, and I was living in the U District in Seattle, this tiny little wannabe single bedroom apartment, but it was just basically a studio, right? And how the rest of my life I've been like, what, was that basically the equivalent of heaven? I've always really loved, and been intrigued by fae. So I think that was the theme that the message was delivered in. I was a fairy princess. The fairy king was my father. And it was an incredible, incredible dream. But, I wanted to go to the human realm, and I had figured out where a portal was. I think that the idea was that I wouldn't forget, like we do through birth in theory, for some. But I wanted to experience humanity. I just didn't plan on forgetting myself, but I assimilated nonetheless. Because energy, right? It's all energy. This has been a lot, and it has affected you accordingly. And you have survived. And the parts of yourself that you sacrificed are being resurrected, and balance is being restored. You know enough. You know enough to follow through. You are very good at adapting, but please never, ever lose sight of yourself again. Your standards are the way they've always been for a reason. You don't want anybody hurting or in pain. It isn't just about you. Balance. It's all energy. We all have the power to affect one another. And your voice, your mind, your subconscious is the most important one your entire life. You can't escape it. However it exists for you. But things, if they haven't already, are finally changing. Balance is restored. What's at the bottom of it? This is huge. Holy crap. I like to call the Five of Swords the fuck around and find out card. If you wouldn't, haha, and the seven, oh my goodness. I always say that the star is within the lantern of the hermit. When I remember, geez, the freaking major arcana that are appearing. And looky, it's you. Balance. And this, the Seven of Swords, that's all of the crap, the cheating, the lies, the betrayal, the backstabbing. It's been a lot. And you still haven't succumbed. There you go. 2 6s in a row. 5, 6, 7, baby. You've got this. Just follow through. If you're doing affirmations, if you're meditating, doing, Tai Chi, whatever it is, painting, whatever it is that you've been doing and working on and healing and caring for yourself like never before, good on you. You're doing the thing. Thank goodness, because the world needs more of this. May we all be able to. I believe in you. You've got this. It's okay. You know what to do because you've already, you know what I mean? You've already began the journey. Don't lose faith in yourself. Don't lose that central pillar, right? Keep your integrity intact. Please do not give up ever again. When we take out these two cards, but you know, it doesn't seem so bad, huh? I mean, there's still that, but like, please be nice to yourself, okay? Let's see what the extra notes are and get on with our lives. Oh, Virgo. Aries. Okay. Pardonnez-moi. Sorry. Like, how dare you only acknowledge the one? There's a very important person in my life that actually, it's been quite a few very particular humans in my life that are Aries. They're some of my favorite people. Capricorn. I'm gonna go with the word stubbornness came to mind. Some may consider it stubborn, but there's a will. You know what I mean? There's a willpower that is part of what's being resurrected within you, that you've been able to, no, because you've always kept it. It just has presented itself differently throughout your life, and sometimes you've just had to have a particular tunnel vision, right? It has served you in many ways, but, you know, be careful. Be careful. Came out of nowhere. Boosh. Complete surprise coming in hot. It's time. Oh, Pisces is on the bottom of that deck. Wow, fam. Wow. Here comes the sun. Don't forget your SPF. Don't forget your towel. Whatever you need, a hat. Be careful. Be careful. But what you need to know has been illuminated. And when when you're struggling with it, if you feel like it's not enough and you still have questions, and, remember that you yourself are the light. Okay, fam? Stop dampening that. Honor that. You don't have to be reactive. Where's the fight at this point, right? What fight? You've laid down your swords. And you don't, you don't, the opinions of others, the damage that others' words are capable of taking, on you. It's not the same anymore. If anything, maybe it's a sensitivity to where their pain, the fact that they're in pain, hurts you. It's kind of switched in that sense. Pisces feel very deeply. What house is that in for you, Pisces? That was my father. The Aries is my mom and the Pisces is my father. How do you like that? Who do you think won? I mean, he took off. Anyway, moving on. How you doing? Hi. R.I.P. and all that good. Thank you so much for joining me, fam. This was an incredible reading, and to new beginnings, to the rest of your life, to the rest of our lives, right? Always remember that I love you,